Hey, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for Friday, July 21st, 2017. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Price continues to hold at highs and continues to push to new highs ever since it got outside of the range here above 2450s. We had a target here at 74 as the next spot to get to on a weekly basis. We've also reached a 50% expansion target on a monthly basis, right on the high there at 76 quarter. And we continue to be quite bullish. This is what we mentioned before. Whenever you get into a bullish stance like this, you got to continue to roll with the direction of the move until proven otherwise. And yesterday, for example, we're talking about failed new lows. We're talking about expansion days, retesting midpoints, those types of things. Those are all bullish techniques within this uptrending market. The next one to watch is going to be the previous session's low again. Any failure to hold below that 64.5 could be a push back to highs as this thing continues to climb toward 2,500. Any failure to hold above 64.5 could be an early indication of a pullback, but right now, again, even any pullback would still be considered a buying opportunity within the current trending structure at this moment. So nothing really has changed, perhaps a digestion day at the moment. If we look at the intraday time frame here we go. One thing you'll notice is we have an impulse move here, which is the initial sell-off down, where that gives you the quick move. That sets the range right there, and then you have the midpoint of that range, which hasn't been reached just yet, but when it does, you have a nice key range to play off of. The previous session had a lot of sideways activity for the most part. If we look at this action here, mostly sideways, and again, that range back here, that's the larger range. That's why I mentioned the 64s here. If it gets down here, that's a better buy opportunity back up. And right now, given the current uptrending market, while you could fade prices above the high, the trend remains to the upside. So the best spot to defend is the lower edge. All right, let's take a look at crude oil. Here's a look at crude. If we bring this up to the higher time frame here, you'll notice a bit of a pullback that we saw over the last couple of days. This one right here was when price finally reached that 47.65. That is the May 3rd FOMC key level. It's been a key level for a while. Several of these key levels have been in play. Rejected off that high, came back, and today's high is just shy of the midpoint of yesterday's session and is pulling back a little bit. This is what I mentioned before, is that this CVPOC right here could trap price for a while. If it gets too far away, it comes back to it. And right now it got too far away perhaps, and it may come back to it. And we could see more development around this range before the ultimate move occurs as this thing continues to develop. So right now, still crude oil is in that range, in that zone right now, where we could see a little bit more pullback, but overall a pullback will likely be defended for another attempt at new highs into that 48.76. On an intraday basis, you'll notice here, basically, let's bring up the 512 tick chart. This one dropped pretty significantly here in the previous session from those highs, rather sharply in one fell swoop, and then from there continued lower. Here, price pushes up into the mid pivot of the day, and again another hard sell-off here. So this thing is clearly pushing downward. Pushes higher, could be sold at the moment. A retest back toward VWAP may be the opportunity to push it back down. But this thing is trending lower for the most part, back toward composite VPOC, but remains within an overall slightly uptrending structure. Here's the NQ. The NQ is holding in a tight range at highs. This one obviously pushed to the upper edge of the key range. Here we are right here, that's 59.07.5. From within the very bottom of the range, rallied right through the middle, up through the top, is holding above the top right now for the last couple of days. And again, this could be an opportunity where the next pullback is a buy opportunity for a swing push higher as this thing continues. Up here we could see a significant rejection that would imply a move back to the center and perhaps down to the bottom. So we're at a decision point in the chart up here, and that's where things happen, at these extremes, at these decision points. It's either going to find acceptance here and continue, or it's going to reject and pull back to some degree, either for a pullback buy or a pullback all the way across the range. So right now we're right in that zone. So this is an important area to watch, 5,900. On a lower basis here, on the intraday, you can see how narrow the range has been. We'll go to a 512 on this one. You can see how narrow it's been as the thing has played sideways from 58.95 up to about 40 evens, 59.40s. That nice little range right there, very, very tightly coiled, is generating a lot of energy. Again, a push down into this LVN could be a great buying opportunity for a push higher. Failure to hold this weekly VWAP could be significant, as this thing would take it off and drop it back toward prior support. So right now, 5,900 to 58.90, very important area of support for the NQ. Lastly, let's take a look at GC. On a swing basis, GC is pushed higher back toward composite VPOC, which is 1250. We also have 1259 as another one above. So this was one where it's quietly walked higher. On this day, we felt fairly confident and bullish about the structure and about the squeeze that was to come. And this thing is pushed back above 1229 and continue to hold above it. So very nice steady continuation. We've reached the first target. The second one is 1259. I mentioned once we get to the 1259 and reach these two center targets here, we could see a bit of chop around those targets before the next move, either up or back down, occurs. So once we flow through the rest of this range into 1259, 1260, expect perhaps a counter swing and maybe some chop, very similar to this or this action here. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this thing plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and happy Friday.